it's now 2021, and this video is all about whether or not this camera is any good for 2021, because the M10 is out, the M10P is out, the M10 monochrome is out, and they're truly beautiful cameras. But you know what? This is a beautiful camera as well. Hey everyone, thanks for dropping by the channel this week. We've got a great episode this week, and I'll tell you why. I got a little bit of a nostalgia feeling, and I wanted to go out and shoot with my Leica again. It's been a long time since I've done that, and it brings on some different challenges than it does with my Fujis. My Fujis are just so easy to use, and I'd forgotten how kind of difficult it is to shoot with a rangefinder camera, especially with a lens hood on it like this 28mm lens does here, because it blocks out part of the frame. Now, I don't really mind that because I had gotten used to it over the years, but I'd lost my way, let's say. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the history behind this particular camera here. This particular camera is a Leica M-P 240. So, in other words, it's the P version of the 240. And I'll tell you what I did is I bought a really beat up M9 back in the day. God, it must have been 2013, 2014, something like that. And this camera came out in 2014. And as I don't know, many of you Leicophiles know that the M9 had some sensor issues, and little worms were growing all over the sensor. So I had mine, I sent mine back to Leica, and I had it worked on, or I should say, looked at. And to discover, yes, it did have some worms growing on the sensor, and that they would replace it for nothing, but that I could upgrade to this right here. Now, that was quite an investment at the time. I think it was about $3,500, which is a barrel of money for me. But you know what? I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I said, you know, I got all these Leica lenses. I want to shoot full frame Leica, so I'm going to do it. So I did it. And yeah, it's a little bit heavier, but it's almost, as far as size goes, it might be a little bit thicker. It's a little bit thicker and heavier than the M10. The M10's got a smaller battery. This battery lasts forever. I can shoot a full day without any trouble at all. And I really, really enjoy shooting with this, and I have to get out and shoot more with it. Now, what I've done with this particular session is I've decided to shoot in black and white JPEG, but also record my raw files as well. And what I've done is I've decided that I really want to feel my black and white shadows and highlights, and really that's what black and white is all about, your shadows and your highlights. And look for design, I'm not looking for color. Now, if I get some nice color with the raw files, I'll be excited about it, but I'm going to look and see how I can take those raw files and maybe bring them into Silver Effects Pro and see if I get something similar to what the JPEG black and whites look like in this, because the JPEG black and whites out of this M-P 240 are really nice, really, really nice. So let's go out. I've already taken one shot. I'm really excited about it. And I'm over at Maritime Gloucester, which has got a lot of dories and boats and things around, and I'll show you what I'm looking at. Great stuff. I know you'll enjoy this episode. So off we go. Now this is the first shot I was working on, and I shot from a fairly low angle like this, shooting a vertical. So this shot here, got this rope, this bow, mast from the schooner Adventure in the background. Gonna flip the hat around. And I'm shooting against the light, which is something I like to do. You might not like doing it, but I sure do. I don't know. See how that works. So far, we've made some really interesting shots of this dory over here and some bows of some dories over there. really nice stuff. Now, the interesting thing about this camera is the MP version of the M240 has got Gorilla Glass on the back here, which is great because I don't have any scratches on it. This thing is, what, 7 years old or whatever it is. And also in the viewfinder too here. And, you know, that makes quite a difference. And something I don't really pay much attention to, but the buffer in here is much larger. It's a 2 gigabyte buffer. And I don't shoot 3 frames a second on this thing. And quite honestly, I don't know if it actually does 3 frames a second. But so far, you know, I love getting back to this. The only problem that I have to do is I have to, and this, oh, by the way, this particular camera has the preview lever right here for showing my frame lines. And I don't know if the M240 has that. I don't think it does. So off to some more. So here's an interesting shot right here. And using the 28mm lens on a full frame camera, there's almost no way to get this buoy here it's sharp and over here and sharp at the same time. So I've worked a couple of things and shot some at f/16 to see how it comes out. I didn't include this buoy up here, but I really like using this buoy right here because it's got a lot of character to it, especially in black and white. It'll have unbelievable character. And the way that the paint is peeling on this wall is just outstanding. I got another interesting shot over here. Some coiled rope over here in this window. Let's see what that looks like. The cool thing about this shot right here is the masts of the schooner Adventure in reflection of the window with the coil of rope. Kind of neat. So this is my shot right here. I'm going to lower my angle a little bit, shoot this at f8. I'm going to back up a little bit more. Oh, I really like this shot. You know, this could prove to be a very nice, interesting shot. These up here are parts of an old wooden lobster trap. We got an old wooden lobster trap right here, and over here we got these are from the Ardell, which is over here, which is they're benches to sit on, but also carry the life jackets and stuff. Interesting. So I've come over here again to shoot the stern of this gig dory. I love this line coming down like this, and I love this line going like this. And I love the lines of dories anyway. I think they're just so cool. So what I've done is I put the EVF2 on the top of this camera so I can use it as a viewfinder for my 21mm Super Elmar. And I'm still focusing with my with my rangefinder here, but I use this as a viewfinder, and it works great because it's exactly what the sensor is seeing, so it's kind of cool. Just got a great shot of this gig dory here with this long shadow going all the way down, following the line of the dory up to that shack there and the masts of the schooner Adventure. Very, very interesting. High contrast black and white, but I love it. It's great. Well, for me, it's great. I hope you check out my website, capeandphototours.com, because we got some great workshops coming up in June. The Lupine Waterfall Workshop, which I've told you about before, Sugar Hill, New Hampshire, the Inn at Sunset Hill. It's a great time. We've done it before, and we had a wonderful time. Well, that's it from over here at Maritime Gloucester. I had a lot of fun shooting with the MP240 by Leica. And, you know, honestly, the simple layout of this menu and the ease of use of this camera makes it so well worth maybe even spending a little bit of money and using some different lenses with it. Maybe not Leica, maybe some other lenses. There's a lot of them out there with M-mount. And, you know, I think you'll enjoy the experience. For me, it's really all about coming from where I used to photograph when I was back in my younger days, and I like to get that feeling back again, like I'm shooting with my Leicas on the job.